Real Talk with Scott Baker and Jen Sammons interviews those incredible writers who have successfully crossed over from page to screen and vice versa. Coming at you every other Tuesday as their schedule permits. You won't want to meet this one. Details to come.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Happy Tuesday night. Real Talk is on. Jennifer could not make it tonight. I think she has a prior engagement with family. So if she's with family, God help her. Tonight we got a really special guest, Hilton Ariel Ruiz, the writer, producer, and director of Zombies with a Shotgun, the new movie 6666, a really scary anthology movie, plus several other shorts that are available on Tubi and some other streaming channels. So, Hilton, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. You can call me Ariel also. It's fine. I'm doing good. Thank you for having me on. Appreciate it. And yes, that's awesome being here. Let's chat away and let's talk some good stuff.
Okay. You've had some incredible success with Zombies with a Shotgun.
Zombie with a Shotgun was I would have to say was the film that basically the engine started to go, and it's pretty interesting because when us as filmmakers, you try to catch that wave. You do these projects, you either go to the festival, and now you have streaming services, or you go online, you go to YouTube, you promote your film. There's a lot of promotion now. So when I did Zombie with a Shotgun, it started off as a web series, and that caught a wave. And then as a filmmaker, an independent filmmaker, you start to say to yourself, oh man, this is the wave that I wanted to catch. Now I caught it. What do I do? So I took advantage of it. And from the web series, we went on to do the feature. And during that transition, we also did comics and stuff like that to promote it more. And during that whole time, I've done other various projects, but Zombie with a Shotgun was the one that really got things going. And now we are in the process of, getting the sequel off its feet, where we're right now, thinking of a good day to release it and fully campaign for Zombie with a Shotgun Part 2.
Now, the TV series was 2013-14, correct?
Yes, we shot around 2012. We released the first episode, and then 5 more episodes. So yeah, those are the years, and then we released it, and now we released it now where we put it all together, and you could watch it on streaming services. Like I think Amazon has it, and Plex, and a couple other streaming services.
And I think Tubi has Zombie with a Shotgun.
Yeah, just the feature. But Amazon has the feature and the web series.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the movie came out in 2019. Yep. Same actors and actresses? I haven't seen the TV series yet.
The web series, there was only 2 actors, which was the guy the star who played the original zombie, which his name is Braden. He played Aaron. He came in to do the feature, and then we had a police officer there who also came in. And it wasn't too many people in the film. It was just more like atmospheric kind of stuff. Then people caught on to it, that they really liked that vibe and the feel, that just the feeling of it. And he came along. Definitely, he was was a big part of it. And we had to cast. It was very. I think 30 actors was casted for Zombie with a Shotgun, the feature, which was quite a lot of actors to come on board on one indie film.
And then the next feature you did, if I'm correct, was the one that just came out, 6666.
Yes, so 666, and I started also as a web series that came out and premiered on Eli Roth's Crypt TV. And then we had a web series that we were supposed to continue to go onto the website. And what happened is that they decided to move on to start doing their original content. And so I had these episodes that were lying around that no one's seen. First three was seen. So I started promoting the first three, which was also put onto streaming services. And what I said during COVID, when COVID came by, I was like, hey, look, I got all these episodes that I was still like in the shelf. Why not take these out and add three more, put it together, and put an anthology horror film? I always wanted to be part of an anthology horror film, and this is sort of my way of saying, you know what, I'm going to make my own, and I'm going to have 8 episodes that was completed and created by me. And instead of trying to figure out, trying to raise my hand, I said, hey guys, pick me on to be one of your one of your episodes or part of your anthology. I just decided to do it my own, and that's how we released it. So it's 8 episodes, or I call them chapters, and it's an hour and a half. It's a full-length feature, and each episode was created where I wanted to use a different camera, a different look, of course, a different story, and many of the episodes were different actors. All about this, it all had to do with the same evil entity of this evil entity that was born on 6/6/66. So it was kind of like a homage to back in the days where the devil's birthday and all that stuff. And it was difficult because COVID. We decided to do 3 more episodes. We shot it through that time, and then it was looking back at it. It's awesome. I look back and I love the project.
It was a great project. My favorite was, and I'm not going to give any spoilers, was the guy that brings his girlfriend down to sacrifice him.
Yes, a lot of people. Yes, that one. 3 and 4 was a lot of people. That was 3, and 4 was a lot of people's favorite. Yes.
Which one was 4?
4 was when the detective comes in to try to find out what happened to.
Oh,
yes. So the 4 was basically. So I try to do like one episode was basically like the typical sort of like documentary filmmakers that go hunting.
That was my next favorite.
And then then I wanted to do one that was sort of like kind of like a sexy, kind of erotic, kind of like episode. And then the third one, I wanted to do a female's revenge. Then we wanted to do the detective story. Then we wanted to do sort of like a documentary like project. And then we did a video, and then we did found footage.
Yes.
And then we kind of wanted to go back to try to circle back to the story. And that's what we did for the last 2. One was just sort of like it was more like kind of like a female-driven kind of story where you had 2 females come in to basically tell this, have their story and everything like that. And then the last one was circling back the whole story around. So I wanted to do, every episode had a sort of a theme, a different story. We had a different look. We used each episode was used a different camera, and I don't know if it was I don't know if it was a good idea, because it was definitely hard at the end trying to figure out a different style for each one. But
it worked.
It definitely did, and it was cool because there's something in the film. Everyone could look at something and they could like bring back to it. There was something for everyone to watch in the film. Yeah.
Now you drafted the original scripts when they were episodes.
Correct.
And then how difficult was it to like take the 5 or 6 episodes from Zombie with a Shotgun and turn it into a full-length movie?
So when we did the first 5 episodes, again, they were, and this is so true. Like when it was it's amazing how time flies, right? It was 2012.
Yeah.
When I went to do the first 5 episodes, I'm not gonna lie to you, I never even had I thought that we were gonna create a feature film. It was just no idea. So it was basically these pretty cool 5 episodes where I used a lot of my lighting techniques in the film. And I just wanted to have that sort of like an amazing feel where I use light, and of course actors come along, and so that's what we did. And it was like, again, it was like more like an atmospheric kind of like, you know, project where, you know, you play. It was if you look at it, when you get a chance to look at it, you'll see what I'm talking about. We use a lot of lighting schemes on the project, and what what I think happened is what got the big popularity into the project was that at the very end it was sort of like a love story. And I think when you watched any sort of like zombie project, you don't see that. And I have to really say, I think that was really the ending of that first episode. It was I don't want to spoil it, but you know, a lot of people did see it. You know, you get basically able to see the zombie that kisses his love interest, and no one has ever seen that before. I mean, you've seen it, but it was in a sort of like an independent kind of way of a web series, and boom, that's
Yeah.
where it created its fire. So then I was like, wow, okay, everybody's like, you know, it went viral. And so I decided to like, hey, look, let's get the same character, let's get the same field, and you know, it has that grungy sort of like look and that sort of film noir look, but we're going to create a whole story with it. And it definitely had the love interest in it, but we had to expand it into like an hour and a half film. So it was definitely not that hard to create a whole different story, because the 5 episodes were sort of like a 5 6 minute, you know, each piece.
Mhm.
And that basically was it wasn't that hard to create a whole feature based on that small little concept web series.
What got you into doing your own writing, producing, and directing your own independent films? Is this just like this was like your high school, college dream?
You know, it's and I tell this story a lot, that it was pretty interesting. You know, when I was younger, we had gone to we have like 6 kids living in the house, and it was 3 boys, 3 girls. And the weekends we would go to the movie theaters, 'cause it was the cheapest thing to do. And we would all go to the movie theater. And when we come back, you know, it was me, my cousin, and my brother. And those were the 3 boys in the house. And we would go and make our own we would reenact the scenes for the film. We would take cardboard, draw pieces and everything. And since I was the youngest, of the 6. I was never really allowed to participate in the reenactment of the film. So we saw like Indiana Jones or something like that. You know, there was the good guy and there was the bad guy. It was either my cousin or my brother would choose which side they were in, and I was not allowed to participate. So what they did was, to make me sort of included in the reenactment, they said you should be the camera guy. So they made a cardboard box.
Yeah.
This is so interesting, because they made a cardboard box, and I thought at that time, wow, that is cool. You know, I'm part of it. I was, you know, young, you know, I'm the youngest, like, you know, little twerk, whatever you want to call it, right? And I would have this cardboard box, and we would do the shots. No, you know, and I'm like, all right, we're gonna go here. And that was a thing that kept on happening. And then just we decided, hey, let's get a real camera. And I end up being the camera guy. So
Oh,
obviously we got older and everyone went their own way, because, you know, I was the youngest one. That's when my mom decided to buy me my own camera. And I started doing my own shorts, you know, around the neighborhood and everything. But I never really had any sort of I never said, oh, this is what I want to do. I just loved doing it. And I would say in high school is where I went into courses on film, cinema, history, and everything. And that's where I was like, wait a minute, I was meant to do this. This is what I've been doing. And that's how it all began. Just from being that little kid with the fake cardboard box camera that my cousin and brother made for me, and from all the way to now.
you're independent,
Yeah.
which God bless you. I'm
Yeah.
20 years ago, independent writers and independent movie producers were like, you know, the weird guys off in the corner. What's the toughest part about indie producing a movie?
It definitely comes down with money, and I give you an example. It's like, this is one of the toughest things I have to say is that and this is for the other projects that had the same troubles too. But this one now, like I'm doing Zombie with a Shotgun Part 2. That is something that definitely is in the works. And we're trying to create, of course, a buzz through a campaign to raise monies for this film. The number one thing that everyone wants to ask during this campaign, if we want to cast actors so we can bring some sort of attraction to the campaign, is do you have a script? You have to write a script, but what you write may not be the final product because money dictates the story, the budget, and that's really tough as an independent filmmaker. And yeah, a lot of course, filmmakers already, big time Hollywood, they already have a budget, so they know that the script is going to. This is the script.
Yeah.
We have budgeted out, and we have itemized all these things to be part of this film. And sometimes even that doesn't even work, right? They go over budget or whatever, or even under budget. And being a true independent filmmaker as myself, that's the hardest part because you write this script and you're like, oh, this is what I want to do. And then when you raise money, you're like, my God, we can't do this. We have to like scale down this script, and we have to make sure that the script can be done with the budget we raised. And I think that's the hardest part of being an indie filmmaker, is trying to something you really want that you write on paper. It's not going to end up being what you really want because of the budget. And but it's challenging, and I think that comes with the territory of being an indie filmmaker. You have to understand that, and I think that maybe that's what separates us indie filmmakers or artists to so-called used filmmakers that are used to budget. They can't really adjust to, okay, let's do this, okay, let's scale it down. And and I appreciate, I love the challenge though, and that's what I've been doing from day one, being an indie artist, independent filmmaker. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people who know exactly what I'm talking about, of having the struggles of trying to fit the budget into this, the script to fit for the budget.
So what parts usually wind up getting donuts, are like locations, special effects?
Yeah, it's a lot of it's locations. Absolutely. A lot of it's like about locations, and like I try to write the least special effects because it's a lot of money.
Yeah.
So I try to add that at the very end. But a lot of it is like, and also how many actors are in the film and in the scene. Maybe like you'll like say, okay, you write in the script, I have 6 zombies coming after you, and you're like, damn, we only got a budget for 2. You know what I mean? So that's one of, and with Zombie with a Shotgun, we did our best. There was so many things that we had to cut, and a lot of it was the effects. We didn't have money for the special effects, and the film is, it definitely has that sort of like, storytelling, more of a zombie corner kind of film. And we just didn't have the budget to do a lot of effects, and we saved a lot of the money at the very end. Obviously, at the very end, it was the main thing is that a lot of people was like, hey, we want to see the zombie with the shotgun, we want to see the blood and the guts, and that was one of the things that we fell short with because of the budget, and that was really disappointing. And in the sequel, we've hoped that we can bring that zombie with the shotgun with action pack.
The zombie makeup was good.
Yes.
I really like the way you did the shotgun special effects.
Yes, that was cool.
Those were pretty cool for a independent movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And the artist, oh my God, I feel so bad. I feel so bad. I don't even remember his name. He really concentrated in doing those special effects, where he didn't basically did like a quick, effect for the guns or whatever. He made sure that the whole frame itself gave like its glow and its shake and everything. And he told me the whole process he did with it, and I appreciated that. And he did a really amazing job on that.
Now, the actors, do they get paid? Are they volunteers? A mixture of both?
So everybody was, we didn't do any sort of like union. I think did we? Oh my God. It's been such a long time. Wow. It's not really a long time, but I'm not even. Oh yes, yes. We've done union. We had certain actors that were coming on board. Definitely yes. And we did the standard SAG deal for each actor. So every actor in the film did get paid. Everyone got paid in the film. Every single person except for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but every single person did get paid. And I think that was also very having 30 actors was also was very ambitious, to go that way. And I kind of recommend anybody who would go into campaign and do an indie film is it's a little bit up there in number as in actors. And but coulda, shoulda, woulda. You go back and say, hey, would you change anything? No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't change anything. It was just what it is. But as in a learning experience to tell somebody else and to teach somebody, like, what do you think? That's something that I would definitely recommend to cut down on the cast due to budget again.
Yeah. Now, are you doing that with Zombie 2?
Yes, the cast is definitely slimmer. It's cut down, and yeah, absolutely.
And the same actor doing Zombie with a Shotgun?
Yep. As of right now, yes, he's 100% on. Very important. And him and I are very, that's the thing about relationships, and not all the time actor and director sees eye to eye.
Yeah.
And and if you probably hear the stories. There's so many actors that just don't see eye to eye with me, and don't we don't really talk. Only when it's time to, like, hey, we got something to shoot. It's like, all right. So, but him and we became really good friends, and we talk like, and we do talk a lot on the phone, and we talk about ideas and everything.
That's good. Now, I do remember when you were on the Watching Weird, you told the story about the actor from Therapy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So did he tell the audience? And I also want to ask, did he get paid?
Oh my God. I think I promised him to go out to eat.
Or he'd already been drinking.
He was already been drinking. We got into an argument because he left. So the story is, and I just to tell the audience again, one of the questions was asked if do sometimes the actors, I think they come up with good ideas, and I said absolutely. Sometimes it's very shocking that at the end you basically look at your end result and you're like, wow, this guy did a really good job. And one of the short films, which is also streaming on streaming services, and if anybody's interesting, Plex TV is a streaming service. You could watch it for free. The film is called Therapy, and the film is it's a very special. It has a very special place in my heart because it was a film about 9/11, and I wanted to do something after 9/11 that was sort of my kind of therapy to do something about it. And at that moment, that the whole country, the whole world was in their minds still. So I decided to do this film called Therapy about this gentleman that lost his loved one through one of the towers, and he was haunted by her phone call, and he had to do these therapy sessions. And this very last therapy session, he did not go. He just couldn't handle it. And one of the therapists in the film was a really good friend of mine who's also was an actor, and he did a lot of like hosting and voiceover and everything. Great, amazing voice. And when you watch the film, you'll know why I chose him, because his voice was like the voice of God. It was just, and this guy's voice was amazing. And he came. We had the actors for the therapy session, and he was no show. 3 hours later, he came when the actors were all gone. We had went on. We were just fighting because I had hired, the crew, and they had these actors coming on for the therapy. So when you watch the film, those are 3 hours apart. We filmed 'cause I still filmed it. I said, okay, even if this guy doesn't come, I'm gonna find another therapist actor. So we filmed it like, as if like the therapy session was still going on. When he came 3 hours, he was drunk, so drunk, pissed off, drunk, and we still did the scenes. And the scene, I mean, when I say he's pissed drunk, he was pissed drunk. We did the scenes, and it was an unbelievable performance. And I just was like laughing, looking at it, and it was just an amazing performance that this guy did piss drunk. And when we would cut, he would laugh and joke, and it was just crazy because it was constantly him and I going at it. And I tell him, listen, we're not stop laughing. Let's. But when we roll the camera, he stopped, and when we cut, he was laughing, and he's like, "Come on, let's don't be serious." But it was just, and when you watch it, it's just so amazing how he did. It was in a great performance, and he nailed it. It was him that really put that stamp on that film, and that ending of that project. I would not spoil it, which he's in the very end. Was like the ending is just an incredible ending.
I'm going to be watching that this weekend.
Yeah, it's a short, so it's a good 20-minute short. And yeah, it's great.
Did you ever use them again?
I did use them again. And this time when we shot in the daytime and at nighttime because I knew that he would not drink.
You hope he would not drink.
Yeah, he would not drink. And I did use them. I did use them again for another project, and then we're really still good friends. It's just I wish I had him for more other projects. He just not to get on his story, but he I think he broke his ankle, and he just couldn't recover from the ankle surgery, and it just had after his injury just really was a big stain in his like his work and everything, and it was sad that but we're really good friends, and I'm not I think maybe he started just concentrating on his work when that happened.
I'm going to go off and ask you about distribution, but I got to ask, writing, producing, directing, which is your favorite and why? Which do you hate the most and why?
That's a good one. Oh, that's a really, wow. Which I hate the most. See, the thing is, like, I love writing because no one can tell you what to do.
Yeah.
You can get someone reading and give you ideas and everything, but the writing is like your piece. You're writing, you're by yourself, you're doing your thing, you have your time and everything. And then directing can be really fun, or it could, if you have the worst cast members, it could be the worst. Being on a set with actors that just will not do what you want them to do, or they just want to complain and fight and argue, it can definitely be one of the worst, difficult. Like I'm like, what the hell? And it happens. Yeah. It happened in Zombie with a Shotgun. It happened numerous times, and it's just it just was unbearable, and that could be definitely one of the worst, because you have to know how to be in control. And if you do not show that control in front of the crew and cast, it's trouble. And producing could be the same way. You're getting all these actors, you're getting all these people to come on board, you're talking to them, and finding the locations could be such a pain in the ass. You get the locations, and then later on they don't want it. It's just, but I would say writing probably was, the probably best favorite, because no one is there to like bother you. And then directing is fun, but if, again, you might have that person that you think you're going to get along with, and it's going to be it's just a nightmare.
Now, how many times have you written it? It's great. This is brilliant. And then when you're directing it, it's like, what the hell? We can't do that.
Why the actor can't do it? Or...
No, like when you as the director are looking at what you've written. It's like, oh, no, that's no good. We can't do that. Does that happen a lot?
Mm,
When you're looking at it from a different perspective.
yeah, there's sometimes like you like, okay, we're gonna do this, and then when we get there, I'm like, there's just no way we can do this. This is like, it's just so complicated right now. We got, it's also the location, the actors, and um, yeah, and especially like if you have like if you have like 6 or 7 actors in the scene, which is really difficult, it's gonna be a long shoot day, and sometimes you just overwhelm yourself like, damn, we're gonna have to cut this back, and you have to adjust right there. Say, hey, we're just gonna have to just take these lines out and take this off and everything like that. So it does happen. It does happen.
Where did you this is off for me. Where did you do the filming location for 6666?
Interesting. A lot of the same locations that we use for Zombie. So so I had me living in Lower East Side Manhattan, basically like my whole time. I lived next to a building that, and it's weird because to say this is unheard of. I was next to a building that was sort of abandoned. It was a storefront, but the second floor was destroyed. It was basically a second floor that was like burnt down, and it was just it was a terrible. Even shooting was just so dangerous. I don't even know why we did it, but we did it. So that location, believe it or not, is in Lower East Side Manhattan in Chinatown.
Huh.
So the location is incredible, and
yeah, it worked. It was beautiful for the movie.
So we shot. Okay, so we shot the first 3. No, 3 there. The 4th one, there were some scenes there we shot, and the last episode was. It was interesting because I shot the last episode before I shot 5, 6, 7.
No.
And the building then was sold and then destroyed it. And that's why the story changes. The location, you never see the location again. So you go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5, 6, and 7. Maybe you see flashbacks, like whatever happened to the location. And then it comes back at 8 because we shot it. We luckily shot it. So that was the location we had, and it was just an incredible location. It was just like, it was almost like a mini set, Hollywood set, that you would go there and you're like, we don't even have to do anything. This is just how it looks. And it was just incredible. And it's funny because I still get phone calls from people say, hey, look, man, you got that location. I'd like to shoot up there. And I said, I don't have it. So people want to do like photo shoots and stuff like that, and I'm upset about it. I was like, I wish I still had that. I would have done a whole nother film just on 666 up there, but the buildings was destroyed, and but that was the luck of having that location. Yeah.
Now, you've made your movie. How difficult is it for an independent filmmaker to distribute?
Now it's easier. I'm not saying it's easy. Nothing is easy. It's easier where, years ago, even like 10 years ago, you had to find an aggregator and try to find distribution, and they just wanted to see what kind of actors you have. And if you don't have that actor, we can't sell the film. And then, they want you to sign a freaking, I don't know, 5, 7, or 10 years sort of like contract that you're signed to them. And then they just lie off their asses, basically saying, hey, we're going to have to charge you for taking your film here and there, and we had to fly there, and they start to charge you on these things. And then now it's like, okay, because look, even like, you can even submit your film to a lot of these streaming services. Even you could go into their website. They even have sites that says, hey, you want to submit your film here, we'll let you know, blah blah blah. Amazon too, you could submit your film through Amazon Prime.
Really?
Yes, it's a process though. It's a big process. But you can go to they have now sites that you can actually go submit your film, and they'll distribute for you. They won't promise you that they're going to put it in certain streaming services. What they will promise you is like, okay, You submit your film, make sure you do all the specs, all the posters, all the artwork, the descriptions, everything we ask for. And if it passes all the requirements we ask, we will shop it to all these streaming services. And if they like it, they'll pick it. If they don't, we don't have no say on that. And I tell a lot of young filmmakers or even other filmmakers, I think a great uh, self-distribution site is Film Hub. And you go to filmhub.com and they have everything. They pitch your film from Amazon to Apple to Redbox, Tubi, everything. I mean, it's unbelievable how many things they do. And young filmmakers, even myself, what I discovered was like, oh my God, I should start digging up a lot of my older projects that I did 20, 25 years ago. And I've been doing that. And I'm like, now there's like sort of a place for my voice or my films to be seen, because before you had these aggregators or these middlemen that they hold the keys to the gate that you could not go through. And of course YouTube is a great place to do it. But I know the fact that having your stuff in the streaming services makes it more legit. Like, oh, here it is. It's here.
Yeah.
My film is here. So yeah, if anybody's is interesting and have work, I think Film Hub is the place to go.
So now Film Hub is sort of like a literary agent, like a literary agent who promotes your books around. Film Hub will promote it to the various streaming services.
Yeah, they will pitch it out. I don't know what kind of system they have, and I think they just lay it out in certain, their server or whatever, and they have these streaming services that would just look through the stuff, and they have their people to look at it, and if they like it, they select it, and then they upload it into their platform.
Okay. Now, what is do you pay a fee? Do you
no fee.
No fee.
That's also the really good thing about it. And these new services, they have other places just like it. You can delete your project anytime. It's not like they have like 5 years on you or 10 years like these other guys have. If you decide to pull out the project, you could pull out the project, and that's it. You pull it out, and you don't have to. You're not abide by any contract, and that's the good thing. And I think that it's just a 70-30 cut, which is very reasonable.
You get 70?
Yeah, you get 70. Okay. Artists get 70. I'm pretty sure it's a 70-30 cut. Yeah, you get you get that cut, and that's that is sort of the way that they're doing it in all the other streaming services also. I mean, especially for independent artists.
And you've got Zombie on the Shotgun on Tubi.
Yes, Tubi, Amazon, a lot of like Roku and
which is great, because I'm a huge Tubi. I live on Tubi.
Tubi, I'm telling you, Tubi's killing it. I don't even know how Netflix is still existing. I know they got original content, but I mean, Tubi has everything now. It is unbelievable. They have these old films that I've watched like growing up. It's just unbelievable.
Yeah. And I think Tubi's even doing its own original content.
Yes, they're doing original content, and I think they're gonna have Netflix running for their money soon, because once they start getting bigger and bigger budgets, they're doing documentaries also, just like how Netflix doing. And once they get to that point where like, hey, we can do as big budgeted projects like you, I don't know what these streaming services are going to do. All these guys that you're paying for Paramount, you're paying for, I know HBO kind of has like a unique thing about them, because they have a history of how much HBO content, right? That's another thing. They were longer than Netflix. But like, I just don't know how long it's going to last, that we're going to have to keep on paying, where you have this Tubi that has like,
you watch a few commercials, big deal.
Yeah.
And the movies, I love it because the movies range from the independent films like yours to the old time movies. There's a ton of crap on there. Like, I love Shockenstein, Shockula, but there's some really good movies, and you're not paying for the streaming service.
Yeah.
I think the only reason Netflix, in my opinion, the only reason I keep Netflix is because they get all the Korean zombie movies.
They do.
Yeah.
And you know what? Their original I'm like a big of their content. The documentaries are really spot on. The documentaries really, yeah.
And
yeah.
Oh, and some of their original, like the one that's on now, Twisted Metal, is just fantastic.
Yeah, the original, like they have. I mean, was it Stranger Things was one of the biggest budgeted episodes. I mean, it was amazing though. I have to say, Jesus, you could see the money they spent on it. It was amazing.
Yeah.
And I mean, but if you notice in the last year, people are starting to talk about Tubi. And before that, no one talked about it. But everyone, now that you have a conversation about film, Tubi now is in everybody's vocabulary. But a year ago, it was not in people were not. And now it's starting to be sort of like a part of the vocabulary of film. Tubi.
And again, let me stress for all those who've never been on it, it's free.
Yeah.
You sign up for it. You don't have to give them a credit card. You just sign up, you search, you watch what you want. You got to watch a few commercials in between, which is no different than watching it on network television. And you get to see Zombie with a Shotgun.
Yeah, and let me tell you, when Zombie Shotgun came out, Tubi, I was promoting it, and people that did not know about it said, "No, I don't have Tubi," and I'm like, "No, you don't have to." There was people that just could not get it. I'm like, and I would tell them, "No, you don't have to pay for it," and they just were so confused about it. And then eventually, I was like, "Listen, trust me. I'll send you the link. You play it. Just press play, and the film will play right there."
Yeah.
And now everybody knows about it. But before, I remember I was having a lot of trouble. Like, no, I don't have, because not a lot of everybody have Amazon Prime, right? Not everyone has it.
No.
But now they have Freevee, right?
Yes.
Yeah, Freevee. But no one's really catching on to that. Everyone's
no. There's a lot of them. There's Screenbox, I think Shutter TV, a lot of them that are free, but they don't have the same content as Tubi does.
Tubi has unreal. I mean, they have stuff that they get there. I mean, the other day I saw they had all the Jurassic Parks. I'm like, what? They had every single Jurassic Park. I'm like, this is unbelievable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's great. And they got great movies, but I mean, they've got some crap. You were on the Watching Weird with us. We enjoy crappy movies.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what's the best way for you? What do you recommend the best way to promote your movies?
And streaming service wise?
Or any-wise. I mean, it can be on a streaming service, but how do you tell people that my movie is here?
Yes. So like I promote, there's always people like Instagram, people like Facebook. I'm a Twitter guy. It just happens to be, I started Twitter 12 years ago with Zombie with Shotgun.
Oh.
And I promote my stuff there every single day. Look, I'm an independent filmmaker. We're all independent artists. All of us, you and I, we're independent artists. And it's hard to promote our projects. And, we use a certain platform that we like. And I like Twitter. And I promote every single day. And I have my Twitter accounts. I have two big Twitter accounts. One is my full name, Hilton Ariel Ruiz. And then the other one is Zombie with a Shotgun. And what I do is and it was something that I never really planned out. It just happened to be now that it became something that was very useful to me. In each platform, I will promote either on my page, I will promote my zombie film. And then the other page, I'll promote like a 666. And every single day I promote another film, and I will say, hey, watch my film in Tubi, watch my film in Amazon, watch my film in Plex, watch my film. So I rotate the films constantly. So that's the only way we can, as independent artists. I'm just fortunate that I got lucky that I started 12 years ago and I sort of have a pretty good fan base in it. And so that's what I would do. And I'll promote it on those streaming services. So I promote it a lot on my Twitter account, and I do Instagram also. But Twitter's mostly, and I do tell people I think Tubi's probably the best place that you can find like a lot of my work. I have, and it's weird because Amazon has films that of mine that Tubi doesn't have. Like Amazon has the web series. Tubi does not have my Zymer Shocking web series. Amazon has one of my documentaries that was also really big with me, which was it was an erotic documentary about the censorship of the internet.
Which one's
Tubi
that?
it's called The Art of Erotica, and it's about these artists that famous artists in New York that basically talk about the censorship of the internet, which we all know it's public domain, but it really isn't. And the government actually has to say what can go on or not. So a lot of these artists are censored. So I interview a lot of these. We walk around talking to these artists and about what do they think about the censorship that the government's doing, and then do they consider their work as being art or porn or anything like that. And one of the profiles there is this famous lady named Barbara Nicky, that she actually went against the United States against at that time was General Ashcroft. I think his name was General Ashcroft, or Gonzalez, I think it was. And it was the people versus the United States, Supreme Court, which was, she made this sexual coalition, freedom coalition, which basically fought the government, saying that you have no say what we put on the internet because you don't own it. Unfortunately, when you watch a documentary, they lost. I mean, that's a pretty hard battle to go up. But she talks about the case. She talks about how she went to, all the way to the Supreme Court to fight that. And the documentary was well, received, and it did a tour all over Europe and everything. And Tubi won't take it. I think maybe it's a little bit too erotic for Tubi to watch it. But Amazon has it, which is so funny because Amazon is sort of like more of a I don't know, more of like a PC kind of like, world there, but they have it. I'm shocked that they're streaming my documentary. Yeah. And then and vice versa. Like I have my web series there. And Plex has like two of my short films that neither of them have. So it's pretty cool though. It's because they have every single, and then I have my YouTube channel to promote that. I have like little secret little gem films there I've done and everything like that. And so that is the kind of like what we were talking about, is self-distribution for independent artists. And that's the only way to do it, and that's how the question was promote. And if anybody wants to contact me, you could go through Twitter or Instagram and hit me a message. And I always respond to everybody. It might take me a day or two, but I do respond to everyone.
Okay. And on Twitter, it's Hilton
Ariel Ruiz. And then for
Ruiz,
Twitter,
I'm sorry.
Huh?
I was mispronouncing it.
No. You can pronounce it both ways.
Okay.
Yes, both ways.
And you also have, what was the other one? Zombie with a Shotgun?
Zombie is actually, because Zombie with Shotgun is long, so you're not at that time when I got it, I think you can't get more than 17 characters. So it's Zombie WA Shotgun.
Okay.
And I'm both. I'm those are my two Twitter accounts that and I thought that there was a time that Twitter was gonna like be gone. I mean, it was
It's like MySpace.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be gone, and I left Twitter for like maybe a year, and then I was just so funny because I would get messages online, and I'm like, damn, my thing keeps on growing, so I had to come back and just like let's get back on this, and even now I got to go clean all the followers. There's just so much things. It's like another job,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the marketing part's the worst part for us writers. I spend more time marketing and on social media promoting my books than I actually do sitting down and writing them.
Yeah. I know that. And it's like, sometimes I'm like, Sundays is like my day. I would be like literally like almost like 3 hours cleaning up, shooting out the messages, responding to people. And just like, it's ridiculous from going from the two, because I also have 2 Instagram accounts. Then I got 2 Twitter accounts, and I also do TikTok, but it's not, TikTok is like a little bit different thing I do. I really don't promote the films there. It's like my kind of like personal thing.
Ah,
Then I have my YouTube. You know, I don't use it a lot because it's so. You have to pick and choose, and it's hard to do everything.
yeah.
And I'm like, and 3 hours is not really enough. You have
No.
to if you had like a lot of these young guys, young teenagers, they have a lot of time in their hands. They're able to do a lot of these things and
Yeah.
figure it out. And like I was like, I wish I could have money coming in all the time, but I could stay home and just figure this out and you get a lot going, a lot done.
Well, I'm sure you can relate. I had a writer tell me once, very well known published. He said, enjoy writing, because he says once you're published, everything changes. He says you don't write as much; it's everything else. It's raising the money, it's getting the book covers. For sure for you, it's getting people to give money to the movie, directing it, getting it distributed. It's not as fun as just writing or filming.
Yeah, yeah. And that's another thing that you know, I keep on saying I'm gonna start writing some stories, novels, not novels, but just horror zombie stories about zombie with a shotgun. Just no time. It's just, it's because you're writing the script and then you're like, all right, I'm gonna do that. And it's just very difficult, it's just like, oh my God, it's like no time. I always say I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it. And it's just, yeah, it's just, like even today I was just trying to figure out like, the whole zombie with a shotgun 2, getting the pitch, the package out and trying to figure out what it's just like it's a lot of work. But
Which is a great segue. Where are you with Zombie with the Shotgun 2?
So Zombie with Shotgun 2, we are casting now. So we have some interesting names that want to come on board. They're not 100% fully committed. There are certain things that we have to do. I have to talk to some of their talent managers or agents to talk to them. So we have some pretty interesting people to come on board on the film. And I think that's the key. The key is we're trying to get like at least 4 to 5 actors that are pretty known names. Of course they're not, A-list, we're not going for like Hollywood stars, but
Chris Pratt.
Yeah. It's just to get the interest and to help to raise money for the sequel. And that's where we are. We're having discussions now. And once we get these certain actors, we have 2, of course, on board, but I'm not 100% really now, but it looks like it's going to go. I don't want to say anything just in case we're going to have we're supposed to have a meeting this week. I haven't heard from them yet. And that's where we're at right now. The script is done. And we just right now trying to get names for the campaign to promote it and to get on. So I think, now August is a bad month to release a campaign. Everybody's, sort of in their last weeks of getting ready to go back to college, go back to school and come back from vacation to go back to work, to get that, even though people work, but to get back to real work, September. And I think September to October would be a right time to possibly shoot out the campaign and see what happens. It's difficult. It's a hard job. It's a 24/7 job to get the campaign. After doing the other campaigns was just really tough. It was difficult.
And well, you also have a Patreon page for Zombie with the Shotgun 2. Patreon.com, Hilton Ariel Ruiz.
Yes.
So anybody who wants to contribute and be on the inside of what's going on, go over there and check it out.
Yes. So there's a Patreon page there. We do also for the sequel and do some like content. There's some things that I do also there, and it's listen, I appreciate the fans, and that's a hard thing, as being an independent artist, and I appreciate a lot of the fans that come on and support Zombie with a Shotgun, and and it's pretty, it's exciting, especially when you get a person that just never saw the film and they'll hit you up with a message and say, dude, I just bumped into your film the other day. And I put it on, and I'm like, dude, it was awesome. You
Yeah.
start having a conversation with this person you never even met or spoke to, and it's just pretty cool. Just talk about film and stuff like that, and that's the cool thing.
And your movies are different. And by what I mean different is it's not the same old stuff Hollywood's just vomiting out, with just different actors and different titles. You've got unique concepts, the good plots, very dark. I mean, if you'll enjoy a dark movie, Zombie and 6666.
Yeah, and it's pretty interesting you say that too, because I just had this person that it was interesting because this person told me years ago when the film came out, I didn't like your film. He said, I respect what you did though, right? He said, I just, for an independent artist, he goes, that was a lot of work and I respect it. And this was like 2019. Then I spoke to him like 3 months ago, and we talk with friends, and he's like, I missed the look that you have because you don't see that look no more in films.
Yeah.
He goes, now everyone has the same look. And he goes, during the time when your film came out, you had films that still had that look. And he was like, I have to say that I missed it. It had like a unique, look to it. And he's like, I think that might in the long run help, if people come back from many years and come back and watch the film and say, hey, look, that's a unique looking project. And I really do feel like it was something about it definitely had a very film noir, grungy sort of like you felt sweaty in there. You felt claustrophobic watching the film, and it worked very well. And that had to do a lot also of we when we were preparing to make the film, we had to choose a right camera for the location. Remember, the location was pretty small and tight.
Yeah.
And we chose a camera, which was, I forget again, but excuse me for getting these names. There's so much cameras, I can't even believe it. It was a Sony camera that was one of the best cameras that had the best for lighting, dim lighting.
Mm-hmm.
And because we were shot the film in August where it was like 95 to 100. It was one of the hottest, like 2 weeks we shot the film. So we were shooting in the second floor with lights that can cause a fire. So we were like, no way. We're not using powerful lights. We're going to use as least lights as possible, but we needed a camera to pick up the lights, very dim. And I think that contribute to the look of the film because it was dim lighting through the whole film with a camera that was able to pick it up. And since we were in like a very close, tight locations, dark everywhere, it worked. The DP was great too, Giuseppe. He was a DP, and also Landry. We had 2 DPs in the film. Mm-hmm. They did an unbelievable job.
Yeah, I watched it a few years ago, and then I rewatched it last night for today's podcast, and I picked up on so much. Because now it wasn't like I wasn't following the plot as much as I was like picking out all the background and the lighting and that. But Zombie with a Shotgun, definitely worth it. The original series is on Amazon.
It's on Amazon and also in Plex. You could watch the original 5 episodes, which is put together. And I think that's a total of like 20, 22 minutes, something like that.
Okay. Zombie with a Shotgun, the movie is on Tubi.
Yep, and on Amazon.
And what about 6666?
666 is on Tubi. Both so a lot of people get confused because when I released the first 3 episodes before we released the feature, sort of like kind of give a buzz to like, because I was trying to raise monies. It was very difficult. So I'm like, hey, let me release this in streaming services, see if I could raise some money. It was difficult. So those 3 episodes, it's still up on Tubi and on Amazon. So when we did the feature, it is still 666, but the feature is called Beyond the Halls of Paradise. 6666. And that's the feature, which includes the first 3 episodes that's still. So you could watch it in both of them. You can watch it in Tubi and you could also watch it on Amazon. But the full name is for the feature is Beyond the Halls of Paradise 6666, and you'll figure out why the title is named that, because it is mentioned in the film of that title.
Yeah, it's a great horror anthology. So
I appreciate that. Thank you.
So we're gonna have to close out in a minute. Where can they find you?
Again, guys, I tell a lot of people, if you are into zombies, Google zombie with a shotgun. It gives you a whole breakdown of what zombie with a shotgun is. It will talk about the comic, it will talk about the web series, and it will talk about the feature. And I think that you going to Google it, you'll be able to get a lot of information. Even if you go on I do have a zombiewithashotgun.com website. You can go in there and it breaks down the history of where it started and where it ended up now. And it has the links to the web series and to the feature. And if you're my latest film, Beyond the Halls of Paradise 666, you can watch it in Amazon and you could watch it in Tubi. But again, Tubi is free. They are charging in Amazon. I have no control of what I get to distribute. It was Amazon that decided to say, you know what? We are going to charge people to watch this feature. I have no control of that. But you can watch Zombie with Shotgun free on Amazon, but not Beyond the Halls. So I advise everyone to watch it for free at Tubi. Tubi, I have Zombie with Shotgun, Beyond the Halls of Paradise, and I also have my short vampire film called Clans Rules, and that's all
check
from
that
Tubi.
out.
Yeah.
And where can they find you on social media?
You can find me on all social media platforms, but the most popular ones that I'm on a daily basis is Twitter. Twitter, Hilton Ariel Ruiz, and Zombie with a Shotgun, and also on Instagram. Same two names, my full name, and then you also get Zombie with a Shotgun on Instagram. Those are the two social medias that you find me. I'm there constantly every day, especially on Twitter, answering people's questions and stuff like that. If you follow me, sorry, give me time to follow you back. I'm trying to figure out a good platform to start erasing followers, because now I can't follow anymore because I maxed out. If anybody knows a platform that, or an app that could help me try to delete these followers that are not following me back, so I can start following people back. Because I'm that guy, if you follow me, I'm going to follow you back. Yeah. I'm not that person that's going to be like, oh, I'm a celebrity. I'm not a celebrity, I'm just like anybody else here. We're artists, independent artists, and you follow me, I follow you back. Why not? And that's where you can find me.
All right, great. Hilton, thank you for coming on the show tonight. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
I'm sure there's a couple of, hopefully a couple of independent filmmakers out there who got some good advice from you.
Absolutely.
And we will probably have you on Watching Weird again when Zombie with a Shotgun 2 comes up.
Absolutely. I'm down for that all the time.
All right. So again, everybody, thank you for tuning into Real Talk, and we'll be back soon. Ciao.
Thank you, guys.